But now she's suffering further humiliation as her new movie gets scathing reviews. She's gotten horrible reviews from everyone that's been at the premiere. Another Simple Favor got scathing reviews from both The Hollywood Reporter.
The room went cold. Blake Lively walked onto that red carpet expecting a standing ovation, but she was met with a brutal reality check that has left her career in absolute tatters. This wasn't just a bad night, it was the start of a full-scale public roasting that Hollywood hasn't seen in years. As the reviews for her new movie started trickling in, it became clear that the world is no longer buying the polished image she's spent decades crafting. The mask didn't just slip, it was ripped off in front of the entire industry, and the fallout is still growing by the hour.
Was a nightmare. A nightmare is what I heard.
The Hollywood Reporter and Variety didn't just give Another Simple Favor a thumbs down, they shredded it with surgical precision. Critics are calling the sequel a cinematic nightmare, using words like silly, mechanical, and forced to describe a project that was supposed to be a slam dunk. The feedback is so overwhelmingly negative that it's almost impossible to find a single professional reviewer who has anything good to say about the final product. It's not just the script that's under fire, it's the entire existence of the movie itself, which many are now viewing as a desperate attempt to stay relevant.
Blake's obviously a problem for so many because we're seeing her caught, and obviously Anna hasn't seemingly done the level of what Blake did to Justin.
But the real tragedy isn't just a bad script, it's the way Blake's personal drama has completely contaminated her professional work. Critics are no longer able to separate the actress from the chaotic storm of legal battles and PR disasters that have followed her for months. Every frame of the film is being viewed through the lens of her off-screen behavior, making it a lightning rod for intense scrutiny. The public perception has shifted so drastically that even her most loyal fans are starting to question if she's become more of a liability than a leading lady in modern Hollywood.
It was blasted as silly and sometimes trying by The Hollywood Reporter, and Variety accused it of samey sameness and noted it drags.
The critical reception for None.
Before a single critic even sat down to watch the movie, a dark cloud had already settled over the entire production. The tension surrounding Blake's ongoing legal battles and fraught personal dynamics cast a heavy pall that doomed the film before it even had a chance. Every interview and every red carpet appearance felt like a minefield rather than a celebration. People weren't talking about the plot or the acting. They were whispering about the behind-the-scenes turmoil that seemed to leak out of every pore of the promotional tour, creating an atmosphere of pure toxicity.
Disaster.
Praising the chemistry between Blake and Anna, she noted that the movie is watchable because of the friendship between their characters, but added it's a shame that these characters and their friendship.
Perhaps the most glaring red flag was the visible strain between Blake and her co-star, Anna Kendrick. Fans were quick to notice that the chemistry that made the first movie a hit was nowhere to be found during the sequel's rollout. Whispers of a massive fallout began to circulate during the South by Southwest Film Festival, where the two stars reportedly looked like they couldn't stand to be in the same room. This wasn't just idle gossip. It was a palpable, uncomfortable energy that suggested a deep-seated rift that no amount of professional smiling could hide from the cameras.
Spectacle.
The Hollywood Reporter's critic accused Another Simple Favor of overemphasizing antics to justify its existence and complained that the script relies on so much dialogue, giving some scenes a mechanical.
The explosive.
Anna Kendrick's behavior during interviews only added fuel to the fire, as she barely made an effort to pretend everything was fine. When asked about working with Blake again, Kendrick gave cryptic, short-winded answers that spoke volumes. She would brush off follow-up questions with a vague "oh, you know," before pivoting as fast as possible to another topic. It was a massive departure from her usual candid and friendly style, signaling to everyone watching that there was a serious level of discomfort that she wasn't willing to lie about for the sake of the studio's bottom line.
Paul Feig, who apparently is the diva whisperer, I guess, and somehow got these two together again to make this movie happen.
The digital evidence was even more damning, specifically on Blake's own Instagram page. In a flurry of nearly 20 promotional posts, Anna Kendrick was conspicuously absent from almost every single one of them. Out of a massive dump of photos meant to celebrate the movie, only one included her co-star, and even that felt forced. This wasn't a simple oversight, it was a public signal that something was deeply broken between the two leads. Fans and critics alike read between the lines, seeing it as a deliberate move to distance herself from a relationship that had clearly soured.
Not go well. It was stressful as hell. Paul Feig is the one who somehow can magically make these
At the heart of this entire collapse are the serious allegations of sexual harassment and the bitter accusations involving Justin Baldoni. These aren't just private disputes anymore, they have dominated headlines and cast a long, dark shadow over Blake's entire professional life. The claims against Baldoni, combined with her alleged attempts to orchestrate a smear campaign against him, have plunged her into a level of public scrutiny that is becoming impossible to manage. What was supposed to be a high-flying career trajectory has instead turned into a relentless, high-profile legal circus.
Very nice herself. She doesn't come across very nice to me, and I like her. I liked her in Trolls, Pitch Perfect, Up in the Air. Like, she's done a lot of great work.
There is a massive problem growing for Blake, though, and it's a startling lack of concrete evidence to support her serious claims. Despite the magnitude of the accusations she's put forward, she has yet to produce a single text message, recording, or formal complaint to back them up. In a world that demands receipts, her silence on the documentation front is fueling widespread skepticism. People are starting to wonder if these claims were a genuine pursuit of justice or a calculated PR maneuver designed to distract from her own professional failings and falling popularity.
Believe her are terrible human beings, basically. We're not.
Without that foundational proof, Blake is facing a massive credibility crisis that is eroding trust by the day. The public is far from easily persuaded, and they are starting to view her narrative as a meticulously staged chapter in a broader, controlled storyline. Instead of gaining sympathy, her actions are being seen as a masterclass in image management that has ultimately backfired. As the facts blur, people are demanding clarity and transparency, but all they are getting is a polished, carefully curated public image that feels more like a product than a real person.
Someone must be working full-time deleting all the negative comments. And when you see Blake Lively's post, there's always like 11 to 13 comments that's allowed. I don't know if she has like calling them all saying like, okay, at 5:02 today, I'm posting this.
In a desperate attempt to save what's left of her reputation, Blake reportedly took the extraordinary step of hiring a CIA-trained PR professional. This expert in crisis management was supposed to help her navigate the spiraling backlash, but the move has only raised more eyebrows. It's a highly unconventional and high-stakes maneuver that signals just how much trouble she thinks she's in. Instead of quelling the fire, this strategy has only amplified the scrutiny, with critics pointing out that if you need a spy to fix your image, the problems are likely much deeper than a few bad reviews.
Something like that. She can't keep it open for a long time, or I don't know if you can actually control and put some people that can actually add a comment to you. I don't know how that works. I just find it.
The manipulation doesn't stop with high-priced consultants. It reportedly extends deep into the digital world with the use of bots. Observers have noted suspicious activity on social media, where automated accounts appear to be sharing generic positive messages to defend Blake. These bots simulate a wave of enthusiastic fan support that doesn't seem to exist in reality, creating a hollow illusion of widespread approval. Instead of helping her brand, this tactic has only intensified the distrust, as savvy internet users can spot a manufactured narrative from a mile away in today's landscape. Even the movie rating platforms weren't safe from what looks like a coordinated effort to hide the disaster. Another Simple Favor initially debuted on IMDb with a shockingly low score of 2.9, which is essentially a death sentence for a major studio film. But then, almost overnight, that rating completely vanished, leaving the page blank and triggering massive suspicion. The timing was too perfect to be an accident, suggesting that someone intervened to scrub the record and prevent the public from seeing just how poorly the film was being received by the very first audiences.
In Justin Baldoni's interest whatsoever to create any negativity around Blake Lively's persona during the promotion of It Ends With Us. Of course it wouldn't. Why would he want the star of the movie to get negative?
The suspicious activity continued over on Rotten Tomatoes, where the film's score inexplicably surged to 80%. This happened despite the movie only having a very limited premiere at the South by Southwest Festival. With so few people having actually seen the film, such a high influx of glowing reviews seemed statistically impossible. It looked like a desperate, inflated attempt to counter the growing negative sentiment. The score appeared designed to create an illusion of quality that simply didn't align with the reality of the brutal feedback coming from the critics on the ground.
And of course,
again, not hiding. She's not there to defend Blake. It's
No.
clear as day. I'm here to do my job.
The premiere itself felt like a staged event rather than a genuine celebration of cinema. Reports have surfaced indicating that Blake's PR team allegedly planted paid actors in the crowd, instructing them to cheer loudly and feign excitement for the cameras. While Hollywood sometimes uses these tactics to boost hype, it backfired spectacularly here because the energy felt completely artificial. Onlookers quickly spotted the manufactured enthusiasm, turning what was meant to be a boost for the film into another embarrassing headline about the desperate lengths her team will go to.
So, oh, it's the best, and I'm so happy to be here. And I will say, I think that was the more responsible, respectable response to the...
Even more shocking is the allegation that the director's wife, Laura Feig, was directly involved in coordinating these premiere stunts. Sources close to the production claim she played an active role in managing the paid actors and manufacturing the hype. This raises serious questions about the extent of the control being exerted over the film's image. Was this a frantic, last-minute attempt to salvage a sinking ship, or part of a larger coordinated strategy to spin a failing reception? Either way, it underscores the massive machinery working overtime to protect Blake at any cost.
It's very easy to bully Blake, Kim. It's very easy to bully Blake and say, we don't like Blake right now. And I get it. I'm not trying to tell you not, I mean, don't harass and bully her for real, but I'm just saying, to not like her for what she did to Justin, I get it.
Blake's social media has essentially become a digital fortress where no dissent is allowed. Her team is reportedly working full-time to curate a sanitized online image, rapidly locking comment sections to prevent negative feedback from spreading. If you look at her posts, you'll often see only a handful of comments, usually between 11 and 13, before the section is mysteriously shut down. This heavy-handed moderation has alienated fans who feel like they are being silenced, reinforcing the perception that she is hiding from the truth and avoiding any honest dialogue with her audience.
Sphere.
Invite only or whatever. But it says Blake Lively has suffered a further setback as her new movie, Another Simple Favor, got scathing.
The days of Blake Lively being seen as a star with effortless, natural charm are officially over. Everything she does now, from a simple Instagram post to a major promotional appearance, is being analyzed under an unforgiving public microscope. She is increasingly being viewed as a liability by the industry, as her personal controversies have become front-page headlines that overshadow her work. It's an exhausting existence for a celebrity who used to be a darling of the media, but the public's patience for her carefully managed persona has finally run out.
Cast in Austin, Texas on Friday, March 7th, and address.
Imagine being the director of a film and watching all your hard work, time, and resources get swallowed whole by a star's personal drama. That is the reality Paul Feig is facing right now. Despite his best efforts to calm the rumors and insist that everything on set was professional, his reassurances are ringing hollow. The struggles the film is facing have nothing to do with the production quality or the direction. They are the direct result of a lead actress whose reputation is currently radioactive. The director's artistic vision has been completely buried under a mountain of scandal.
39 never wants to work with Lively again. Feig shut down her claims a day later. You're wrong, wrote Feig, who attended Another Simple Favor Q&A with Lively, Kendrick, and other members of...
The critics aren't just attacking the drama, they are attacking the craft itself, which is perhaps the most painful part of this roasting. The script is being panned for its heavy reliance on exposition, which reportedly slows the narrative to a crawl. Reviewers are calling the dialogue mechanical and complaining that the film overemphasizes silly antics just to justify its own existence. Even when Blake's performance gets faint praise, it's not enough to save a project that feels like it was assembled by a committee rather than a creative team with a clear, cohesive vision.
PR wants them to say and spin, and they don't really go into any more detail than that because that's the whole machine.
Paul Feig, who has often been called the diva whisperer for his ability to manage big personalities, seems to have finally met his match. Getting these two stars back together for a sequel was supposed to be his crowning achievement, but it has turned into his biggest headache. Even his well-intentioned statements about the positive working relationship fall flat when the public can see the actors struggling to even look at each other. Words alone cannot erase the perception of tension when the body language on the red carpet tells a completely different story.
Machine. That's the Hollywood and media machine. This is how they work together in conjunction to try to turn a narrative or spin a narrative to the public to try to, influence what people think.
The aggressive PR maneuvers that were meant to protect Blake's image are instead proving to be shockingly ineffective. From hiring former intelligence officers to allegedly tampering with movie reviews, every move seems to only dig the hole deeper. Hollywood is watching in total shock as a once stellar career hangs precariously by a thread. The very machinery that was built to make her untouchable is now the thing that is drawing the most criticism, as people realize just how much effort is going into hiding the reality of her current standing in the industry.
He posted, so he didn't reply to me. The director actually reposted my thing and replied.
In the end, this isn't just about one bad movie or a few negative reviews. It's a cautionary tale about the limits of image control. You can hire the best PR team in the world and lock every comment section on the internet, but you can't force the public to like you when the authenticity is gone. Blake Lively's latest premiere wasn't a launchpad for a new franchise. It was a wake-up call that the audience is smarter than the Hollywood machine gives them credit for. Whether she can ever reclaim her status remains to be seen, but for now, the roast is far from over.